please check the volume, like the music especially.
Musik.
Yes.
Gak ada musik.
Okay. Wait a second. How about now?
Delaynya kayak banget tuh. Loading.
Test. How come? This is this one. This one. I see. Okay. So, I think another problem. How about now?
Coba. Ada.
Too loud or?
Kayak suling gitu.
Huh? Too loud or?
Enggak pas. Pas.
Okay. Really? Okay. Should've. I think this one. Oops. So
Kenapa belum tidur jam sekali so?
okay. So here penguins. Yeah. This is just like a pilot, so just testing whether everything's work. So far it's working wonders. So what I'm trying to do is to learn some R from the sites Hadley.io ANSI. I've done first few sub-chapters, still in chapter 1, there's still a long way to go. Okay, so I think last time we have numerical variable. This is all the visualization stuff. Variables. Yeah. Last time I think I've had this one like. Basically make the scatter plot. I think it should be less. Okay. To make the scatter plot. As is the aesthetic, so if you do as, you can use plotting if you put it inside the ggplot function, but if you do it in the geom point, it will create this like local aesthetic specifically for the geom point itself. So here color is defined by species and also shape defined by species, so it will divide it and categorize by its species. Plus we also have facet wrap is actually the way to make it like this. Three boxes. So if we just run, oh, I'm sorry, I just forgot. Every time you want to do, every time you open your RStudio, like for example today I started a new session of RStudio, you have to call back your functions. For example here, this is not a function actually, this is package. So library, I need to call tidy first, which contains the ggplot functions. Okay, therefore should run like this. It looks bad, of course, because I make it like this. I haven't bought a monitor. I think I should, but maybe in the future. So this is how it looks like. First thing that it does, like in that, I don't know, my English is so bad, man, is to make a plot using the ggplot functions here. It basically tells that make a plot using the penguin data, and then for the global aesthetic, please plot the x-axis by its flipper length and also y-axis by its body mass. So that's what you saw here. And then plus, it like concatenate functions inside of functions. I don't know how to explain it, like, but please create a geom point. Geom point, if you want to make a scatter plot, you use geom point. There are other types of geometric functions, such as geom line or geom density and many other things. But here we want to make a scatter plot, so we have like this geom point that is setting a local aesthetic for the scatter plot itself, and defining the color, categorizing them by its color, not by its color, but I mean categorizing the color by its species and also the shape by its species. If you take a closer look here, you can see that the color is different. Like here for a species Bisco, I think it's called, or Dream. So I won't butcher the name. Dream. There are, I think, two kind of species. That is chinstrap and also Adalia. And also it divides itself by, it categorizes the dream species, no, the island. It should be island, right? Yeah, it should be island. The dream island, not the dream species, sorry. So in dream island there are two, well, it seems like there's only two types of species, whilst in Torgensen Island probably there's only one, Adalia, right? We also could see the distributions, like we can see that the Gentoo type of species of penguins has a massive body mass relative to the other type, and also have like bigger flipper length. I think it's kind of correlated. So that's that. Oh, sorry. I have to. That's. You know what? I can close this one. The adder here, the warning, it's actually not an adder, but it's warning. You know, in Indonesia, if I could make the explanation, ini berarti kayak ada dua missing values. Two rows contain the missing values, so it automatically removes those two rows that contains missing values, because you cannot plot missing values, right? So it automatically removed the row. Okay, let's do the exercise. The MPG data frame that is bundled with the ggplot package contains 235 observations collected by the US Environmental Protection Agency on 38 carbon. Which variables in MPG are categorical, which variables are numerical. Okay, so basically we're going to use different data sets. Here, the data sets, for example, if you MPG, it's already embedded to ggplot package, so we don't have to install another package just for this. So, oh, this is a car data set. Let's take a look at its dimensions. 234 rows and also 11 column. Okay, let's generate a summary. Oh, I forgot how to create a summary. MPG. Yeah. So basically what we are looking, which variables are categorical and numerical. Well, we can see from here if you want to look at the summary, or you can also see head like this. This is character. So probably like this is DRV is categorical, obviously not a numerical, but this one like this CTY is of course numerical. The DSPL display I think is also numerical. So there are many ways for you to assess, initially assess the data set by doing this, the dimension, if you want to look how many observations are in the data set, and also you can look at the summary and head. Oh, I forgot one more thing. Yes, I forgot, but it's a lot. First, glimpse. You can use glimpse too. The glimpse output is actually more beneficial if the variables are way more than this data set. Like for example, if you have like 20 variables, you better use glimpse instead of head, because in glimpse, for example, here, wait, what? Glimpse. What an error here. Okay, MPG. It lists the variable names like vertically. So the more variables you got, I suggest you to use the glimpse. Okay. Let's go back to the exercise. No, not this one, but this one maybe. Exercise. Yep. Make scatter plot of this data set, not of this variable that is. Oh, if you want to take a look at a function or a data set, like the documentation itself, use just a question mark before the data set itself or a function. For example, if I use a function ggplot, you will get the documentation here, like how to use the function and also the arguments. But if you put it on, like for example, data sets penguin, oh here, you can use double. I don't know the difference. But here, let's use MPG because it is embedded to the ggplot package. This dataset contains only model which had a new alias. Okay, so manufacturer name should be categorical, right? Of course, it's not numerical. The model itself is also categorical. Display is actually engine displacement, not displays, and not display, but engine displacement in liters. And for this, it's actually highway miles per gallon. Okay, so we have to make a scatter plot using MPG dataset. Next, map a third numerical variable to color, and then size, then both color and size, then shape. How the aesthetic behaves differently for categorical and numerical variables. Make a scatter plot, we can use the plot function first. Of course, we have to specify which data set it actually is, but you can use just like type the data set g as this also we have to use this, but we can also just use iceberg. Typos. Okay, so this is there's a negative relationship, right, between DSPL, which is the engine displacement, and also I forget this one. Ah. Okay, let's point out the second number asks us to map a third numerical variable. So let's choose this one. No, this one. CTY. What is that? CTY is city miles per gallon, so highway miles per gallon. I'm actually not a car person, so I don't understand what is engine displacement in liters, but it certainly has like a negative relationship with this highway miles per gallon. Let's add one as color to CTY. Let's do this. So, alright, so positive relationship between highway per miles something with the CTY, but the displays has like a negative relationship. But why I open Zoom? Rough day. Okay, how if instead of this we use for the shape? Oh, of course, because when you put shape argument inside the S for local variable, it cannot do that because there are too many, right? How many shapes? Because, for example, if we look at the nature of CTY data that is here, how to drop it down? Okay, there are too many categories. How many shape that you have to put to map for each of this? Okay. So for colors, of course, it can map based on colors. It will use gradients, for example, like this. Can do that, and also for size, and even for both of them, we can do that for numerical variable. But for shape, we cannot do that. Shape belongs to categorical variable. For example, let's change. Let's base the color not on numerical, but on what is it called? Color on manufacturer. Okay. So again, even though it's not pretty because there are too many colors. But still, it's doable. For size, using size for discrete variable is not advised, because as you can see, it's really hard, right? Because this is, if you recall from your statistics course, this is like a nominal variable, right? Audi and Chevrolet, there's no ranking between them, so using size is not advisable. It's not advised, I mean. But using, how if we use both color and also size, what happened? Again, not pretty. This is like data visualization disaster. But if we use shape for manufacturer, again, a shape palette can deal with a maximum of 6 discrete values. So if you have like too much categorical variable, you cannot use shape to differentiate the object, the plot. You have to request 15 values once you're specifying. also it removed 112 rows containing busy values around system range. Okay. Alright. So in the scatter plot, this would happen if you map a third variable to line width. Line width is not a variable. So let's see. Let's map based on color. Bisa nggak sih? Ya kan, karena line width tuh buat for ini what is it called? For geom line, you can't do that for plot. So you cannot do that. What happens if you map the same variable to multiple aesthetics? Well, we just done that. It will basically create a combination. For example, if you use CTY for both size and colors, it will produce this kind of things. Basically telling you the same thing, right? Because here we use the blue gradient color. As the CTY becomes bigger in its amount, it will be more brighter. And here, size wise, it will become more bigger, right? You can do that, especially in numerical variables. In categorical, I've done it, and for color and size, for size itself, it's not advised, as I already mentioned. For color, you can do that, even though it's kind of confusing if there are too many categorical variables, but still doable. But for shape, if you have like a lot of categorical variables, you can do that. Alright. So let's clear this one. Make scatter plot. Build as okay, so we back to the penguin dataset. Relationship for all species. We cannot generalize it, but for each species there are like this kind of positive relationship. Right? It's kind of hard to see. However, if we facet it by species, first of all, the relationship we can generalize, because if you look at there, there's no clear relationship. No. Actually, because the coloring actually reveals something, reveal a positive relationship between bill length and also bill depth. If there is no color, we cannot draw any conclusions, right? But because this I put aesthetic on the color for each species, I categorize it by its species, we can basically see roughly, of course, but for each species it is actually a positive relationship. Now how about faceting by a species? I forgot how to facet it. Facet grid maybe? Facet wrap. By species. Yeah, as we already see before. This book is actually good. I'm not gonna lie. Let's open it. But this is more like a theoretical side of things, of statistical learning. So what I'm trying to do right now is basically R without any domain knowledge. No. what I'm trying to say is that this is basically practicing technical skills. But here, where is it? Here. This is more in depth, especially in the mathematical side of things. But the book itself actually claimed that this is a lighter version of. Damn.
Gila. Deket banget.
Wow. Sorry. Poor guy. The book itself actually claimed itself as a lighter version of ESR, element of statistical, ESL or ESR, for the elements of statistical learning. So I haven't finished this book. I haven't finished this book yet, but the content is good, like very very deep for normies, especially like me, and statistical. You have background, or if you already spent a course or two in statistic, I mean, or even econometrics would be way better, because you can basically skim the first two part, I think, here up until chapter 3. When it talks about linear regression, you already know about this, so you can just skim the book for hundreds pages and then get started to classification. I think the last time I read this book, I stopped here. I'm not a good book reader. I'm not that kind of guy. So, but I think I have to read this book because this is a good book, recommended by my lecturer too. All right, let's close this one. Or does the following yield two separate legends? How would you visit to combine the legends? So let's basically you cannot. It is in a programming kind of lingo. R is kind of case sensitive, meaning that if you
Isi itu udah bunyi-bunyi. Bah.
Alright. Sorry, I like my dad. So, how to fix it? Because the objective is to combine two legends, right? So we don't want this two legends. Basically, it's pretty simple. Okay. It's pretty simple. In terms of this, if you want to remove this warning message, you can simply say that typos, man. You can simply set that remove it. I don't want to see it. True. And yeah, you will not get the warning message. There's actually no harm behind this message. It just simply says that, well, we automatically remove these two rows, so they actually do the job for you. If you don't want to see this warning message like you, what's happened? Well, simply put, na.rm. Now simply say that basically if it's a missing values, yeah, remove it. True. Okay, last, create two falling stack bar plot. Okay, which question can you answer with the first one? Which question can you answer with the second one? What questions? let's see. For this, I think okay. So if we do this, it basically create a proportion for each island. It means that, for example, in the island Torgensen, there are 100. All the penguins there is Adelie, are Adelie, and Chinstrap and Gentoo are not in the Torgensen Island. So, make a question yourself. Basically, this is how about this? This one actually kind of same, but we switch. We want to see the species based on species on island. So we take a look. Here we see Gentoo is actually only located in Bisco. Correct. While Dream only locate on a Dream Island. I'm sorry, Chinstrap only in the Dream Island, which is kind of correct. If we take a look here, Chinstrap only in Dream Island, right? But here, the Adelie species are spread, like more spread, like I think in all three islands, in Bisco, Dream, and also Torgensen, as we also can see from here. Here, the Adelie exists everywhere, in every single island in this dataset. Right, so let's learn how to save plot. Once you make your plot, you want to get it out of R by saving it as an image that you can use elsewhere. That's the job of ggSave. Okay, I don't want to save this because it's not really good. Let's use this one. No, specifically this one. Let's use that. Okay, let's save this one. How to save this? Oh, okay. So upon this, you can use Shift and Enter. If you don't want to execute command yet, you can use Shift and Enter. And we gsave file name equal testplot.png. Now, if we run that, it's save on. Testplot. Okay, it's saved on the home directory. So this is our graph, our little graph. Interesting. How if I? No. I don't think it has like much different if we do this. How if we do this? Testplot. Oh, it's actually makes a difference. So this window is actually make a difference. So we want it to be like normal. We will say, okay, chapter 6. What is chapter 6? Chapter 6 we talk about workflow, script, and project. Okay. Already following lines of code. Which of the two plots is safe? This one, the latest. Because if you, that's why we use this. If we don't use this, then it will execute this line by itself. No, that's the logic how to explain this. Basically, we created a plot and then we asked the ggplot to create another new canvas. Then we save that one. So this one is actually the one that will save. What do you need to change in the code above to save the plot as a PDF instead of PNG? Basically, change this one as PNG, right? How could you find out what types of image files would work? Can we do PDF? Test on the PDF. Not really good though. How do you find out what types of image files? Well, basically, I think my first instinct is running this one. Whoop. Here. Always look at the documentation. Here. Hey, Ariel. Sebelum UCL, karena masih nunggu mod file dari Joel. Okay, move. This is like common problem, so this is like a conclusion of the chapter. So not really important, but if you want to read it, feel free. Let's run like this. Very carefully comparing the code that you're running to the code in the book. Yes, this is what I meant. R and also Python, I think, is a case-sensitive language. So if you, for example, if I want to view a data, you can use this, right? If we use uppercase P for penguins and we press enter, object not found, only because we use uppercase letter here. But if not, you'll see this. So make sure that you check your code before you run it. It basically is like a very simple problem because the debugging itself is actually not really hard. And any type of programming works. What's hard is when we're dealing with, for example, branching. Branching means that we talk about for loop, while loop, then you really have to put your logic. If else, no, it's looping. If else is a branching. But also looping is not an easy thing to do. Okay, one common problem when creating ggplot2 graphic is to put the plus in the wrong place. Yes. I forgot to talk about this. When you create a ggplot, for example, we create a new ggplot using the penguins and then mapping it to using aesthetic. As for example, we want to use build length and also y is build depth. Here, if you put, for example, the plus down here for, what is it, jump point, I don't think, yeah, it will not work. You have to put the plus on the same line of the ggplot, and then if you want to enter for jump point, it doesn't really create any problem. But if you do this, it simply means that this is a separate thing. What we want to do is to create this, so we tell the program that this is not the end of the code. We want to attach something, which is the jump point, which basically plot the data, for example, like that. How if we put enter here? Well, there's no problem in it because we already says that, well, this is not the end of the code. But here this says that, okay, after ggplot there's no other code, so there's the problem. Again, to debug you can use, what is it called, question mark and the function name, or even question mark the database, and you will see right over here. Okay, let's move to workflow basics. What is this? You'll have some experience running our code. We didn't give you many details, but you obviously figure out the basics, or you would have thrown this book away in frustration. Frustration is natural when you start programming in R because it is such a stickler punctuation, and if one character out of place can cause it to complain. Again, case sensitive language. But while you should expect to be a little frustrated, take comfort in this experience. Typical and temporary. It happens to everyone. Yeah, basically when you start learning programming, one thing that you have to really keep in mind is that UCL nanti Madrid semua Madrid, Pak. Gue gak megang siapa-siapa sih. I just hope both team lose at this point, karena the real deal besok kick Barca bakal main. Alright, so di chapter ini dia mau ngasih coding basics ya. Let's review some basics we've omitted so far in the interest of getting you plotting as quickly as possible. Because the writer actually says in the introduction part that actually, for example, in this book, SLR, they begin their R by the arduous and also very boring part. For example, here basic commands, this. No one's want to do this. Like this, of course, this is the basic programming that here you will learn. Basically, just putting numbers, arithmetical operations, but no one found joy in here. Everyone wants to plot as soon as possible, because probably 80% of the reason people use R, of course, data cleaning, but data visualization is probably the number one. So here in ESLR, mind you that this is a really great book, they still begin by this part. They also jump to the graphic right away too, but still. And one critics for this book, there are no visualization at all. Like here only command, but here that's why I really in this book, in this chapter, there are no visualization. But if we go back here, look, we can see the output. Right? Even when we make errors, it assures us. Okay. All right. Coding basics. Well. Basic calculations. Oh, sebelum itu, I really want to test one thing. My laptop is actually quite a good laptop, but the portability-nya jelek banget. Karena there are only 2 USB 3 port, but we have 2 Type-C, USB Type-C. So let's check it out. Yesterday I tried to connect my tablet using USB 3, but it means that either I have to buy USB hub, which is quite expensive, 200,000 rupiah. Not my priority. Or second, I have to sacrifice either my keyboard, which is no-brainer no, or my mouse. Also, I don't want to do that. So let's see if I could use the open source softwares, Scrippy or something, because this should count as USB, right? Yeah, it should count as USB. So if let's move here, Scrippy. All right. I don't have to buy. Untung belum beli. Yeah. Another reason why Linux is better than Windows, except that it doesn't have Microsoft Office applications. So if you rely on that or Adobe product, do not switch to Linux. But here I can control my tab here, but I also can control it here. My goodness. So in the future, I'm thinking that I'm going to have like this side to side, where I basically learn math subject, because I'm not good at math, that's for sure. Or learn physics. I really want to learn physics, because back then, I think not even in high school, because in high school I hate physics, I don't know, but in junior high I'm really curious, because of course the Big Bang Theory really supports this kind of curiosity, but again, yeah, that's good, that's really good though. Alright. My goodness, I guess we learned something new today, because my tablet is actually a Poco Pad or Redmi Pad, I forgot about it, but it comes with USB 3 and also USB Type-C. So Type-C and then USB 3, but this both and USB Type-C comes from my Samsung device, so it's a win-win. My goodness. Alright, by the way, a little bit of flex. I just finished up setting up my Ubuntu. This is Ubuntu. Ah, shit. Can I show them? I think I can by installing NeoFetch rather than using FastFetch. So, NeoFetch. It is not maintained though, so I don't use it. But let's. This is just like a flex, right? Right, NeoFetch. Yeah. This is Ubuntu 2404. I actually already installed Ubuntu like a few weeks ago, but then I think this is like a disease for not only newcomers but for me who already used Linux for GNU Linux for the past year. I think past 2 year even. No. Yeah, past 2 year at this point. I distro hop. Like I installed Ubuntu and then I moved to Arch Linux and then I moved to Fedora. But I have to stay on Ubuntu right now, even though my preference is on Fedora because GNOME 47 and 48 for the next upcoming Fedora 42 I think release. The software is much how do I say it? Lebih baru gitu. But I have to stay on Ubuntu because my thesis involving Diner, and on Fedora I actually followed steps. For example, what I'm trying to say here is Diner for Fedora is actually not prepackaged. Here, if you'll take a look at the Diner forum, the leader says that yes, it's possible to compile Diner from source. Man, I'm not a programmer, but I chose the hard ways, and then I do all of these kind of things, like this one, Fedora. Well, it's basically quite easy because all you have to do is to copy and paste, but it's not. You have to do a lot of debugging, which involving a lot of GPTs. By the way, nanti. Yeah, basically, yeah, I already do all of this stuff, but for Fedora and also Arch Linux, you can only use Diner on unstable, and 90% of the time it doesn't work. And what makes me want Ubuntu is basically the LT support, and also, for example, app search Diner is already prepackaged. So if I opened my GNU Octave, basically I'm not using MATLAB because MATLAB costs like 800,000 rupiah and it's so expensive. So I choose the free alternative, which is GNU Octave. That's why you have to support open source software, guys. And if I put Diner, this is Diner, and I could just use Diner. I don't have any mod file right now, but basically it works. And yeah, by the way, if you want to be let me take you through this Diner configuration. After you install, you actually have to configure for Octave here, and it requires you to execute this command every time you open the Octave or MATLAB if you're using MATLAB. But I don't want to do that. So I choose this. If you don't want to type this command every time you're on Octave, you can put the file called octave.rc. Basically, you create a new file in your home directory under Windows, and because there is a dot here, it means that it will be a hidden file. What I do is I create the Octave.rc and then I just basically put this one at path and also warning off, because there's some, I don't know, this is not a bug, basically just a warning, but it's really tedious and it's really horrible to see. Basically says that there are two functions that are conflicted between the one from Diner and also the one from Octave itself, so I turned off all kinds of wording. Actually not recommended, I think, but who cares. This is Linux. Linux can be pretty, and this wallpaper, I'm not gonna change it anytime soon. I also have my game here. Football Manager. I played a lot of Football Manager, man. I haven't touched my thesis since some pro. Of course, waiting for the mod files right now. But I played a lot of Football Manager, especially in Lebaran festive period. Everyone goes to their hometown, and I just sitting here at home playing Football Manager from morning up until dawn. Not even night, dawn. This is the extension that I use. Create. Oh, one more thing. This is probably my laptop is actually a good laptop. It is a new hardware with new software. Quite good chip. It is Ryzen 5 with Radeon I think 680, which is quite good. But I just cannot tolerate the RAM consumption in Windows, man. Like, for example, right now I open this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with music playing, live streaming with OBS, Octave right now, and RStudio. Mind you, I have RStudio here. Wait. Okay, I have RStudio here, and I have a document viewer, events. So it's not really hard to run. But on Windows, I can safely expect that this is going to consume more than half of my RAM. Let's check. NeoFetch, we can just use NeoFetch. It consumed just 6 gigabytes of RAM. My goodness. Let's try. Let's open Tech Studio. Okay. Oh, this is my CV, I think. Let's open Stata. Actually, Stata only supported on Windows, but I use Wine. This is Stata, and then open up, what else? RStudio, Stata, Obsidian, Efuze juga. This is actually Windows, but I use Wine, jadi bisa download. And then let's open Zoom. A lot of applications, right? My goodness. Still 6 gigabytes of RAM. Let's put this one here. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 7 gigabytes of RAM. My goodness. Not even half of my RAM yet. Of course, it says like 15 gigabytes ish, but actually it's 16 gigabytes. But man, I could basically open another workspace and then run Football Manager, and it probably ended up like 12 gigabytes of RAM used. I still have some RAMs to spare. GNU Linux. I really hope that I'm not forced to use like Microsoft Excel, because I have to ditch this amazing operating system. Alright, please go. This is Efuze, Stata, Tech Studio. Let's do it. Okay, let's take a break. going there? Wait, I have. Fuck, Bob. Jam berapa ya? Oh, jam 2. Kalau jam 1 bisa sih sebenarnya. Tapi kalau sekolah jangan. Siapa yang menang, guys? Who do you reckon going to win this time? Even though I'm a huge Barcelona fan, I'm not a fan of this club. I just bought this jersey because the color looks
Really?
amazing, like pink. It's
Is
just 39 years old, right?
What outfit of the day?
Ya udah deh.
Cool.
Ya udah, tar. Makasih. I fancy Madrid just because I cannot bear Arsenal fans. Man, the football club is like
Apalagi Chelsea.
Petrus ever said. Netflix, always next season.
Abang fans Chelsea. Abang fans Chelsea.
No. Chelsea. How can I be a Chelsea fan when I'm a culé? Doesn't make any sense. Alright, workflow basic, coding basics. Basic calculation, I don't want to use to do this. Okay, combine multiple elements with factor. Arithmetics, okay. I think tomorrow I will learn Diner because I have to learn Diner. April. Right now, April 8th. Okay, for comments, is this? Oh! I just so you don't have to make that. You can just alt. Oh, I see. All right. Okay. That's good. Thank you. Dad, could you check my live stream? The audio, the music, the background music, and also my microphone. Too loud or
Background musiknya naikin dikit.
that means like that. I don't want it to be like too loud because here too loud, man. Okay, comment page. Kayak harus disemprot nih, bentar ya. Alright guys, I think this is all for today. This is just like a test for the stream, and I think it went well, and my OBS actually works really well. So tomorrow we will start the chapter 3 and 4, I think, and also a little bit of Daniel. Tomorrow's stream will be much longer because I think I will start at 9 p.m. Jakarta time up until 2 p.m. where Barcelona will play. Right now I would like to watch Arsenal versus Real Madrid. Still 2 hours to go, but I want to do something. So stay healthy, stay care. This is the end of the live streaming. Thank you.